Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to integrate Prisma with NestJS, and we will be creating some REST API. So we will be doing authentication, authorization, bearer, JWT token, all that stuff. In case if you don't know what Prisma is, so it's basically like an ORM for Node.js and TypeScript. It's just like we have type ORM and SQLize to communicate with a database. We have Prisma as well, and I will be using Postgres database. Let's get started. So firstly, I have written down some steps just so that I can follow all those steps. Also, one more thing is I have already created one sample project as well, from which I will be copying some code, but I'll explain it to you as much as I can. Don't worry too much about it. So we have to first create our project, right? So I'll just copy this particular command, but here instead of first I will replace it with my project name. So I can just name it as my app and I'll click on enter. Now this will create a project for me. All you need to do is have Node.js installed, that's it, and nothing else. Now this will take a little bit of time, so be patient. I think it will ask me for my here I will just select npm. That's fine with me, and it will create the project for us. So what I'll do is, in the meantime, I'll just open my project. So this is my project, okay, and I'll just do okay. Now the second thing is you have to create your own Postgres database. I think you can use something called NeonDB. It provides a free tier of Postgres database. I think CockroachDB also provides. Use whatever you feel like. If you want Postgres inside your local computer, you can install Postgres as well. So it's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. So yeah, let's just wait for this installation to complete and then I'll come back. So the installation has finished, so I will just cd into my app. Okay, I'll just clear everything out. Let's see what's the next step is. So if you want, you can go through this NestJS documentation. I have already gone through it and written down all the necessary steps. So first we have to install Prisma inside our application. So I'll just run this command, so it will install Prisma for us. Next, once that is done, we have to initialize Prisma. So once we do this, it will create a Prisma folder inside our application. So yeah, I'll just paste this command now and it should create. So yeah, here you can see it has created the Prisma folder inside our application. Now inside .env, here you can see it has also added this database URL. So you will have to add your own database URL. I'll quickly add my database URL and come back. Okay, so this is also done. So yeah, I have done this. Then we have to add table in schema.prisma file. So what I'll do is that I'll just open my practice project. I'll open Prisma, schema.prisma. Okay, we will be creating two tables. So one is the user table and second one is the post table. So a user should be authenticated to create a post. Yeah, simple thing. So I'll just create this two table. I'll just copy this and I'll just paste it over here. If you want IntelliSense, you can install the Prisma plugin for VS Code as well. So if you see your user, it has an ID, email, name, password, and array of post, and a post will have an ID, title, content, published. If you want, you can keep this. If you want, you can remove this too as well. It will have an user as well, and it will have the author ID as well. So yeah, that's how I'm doing the mapping. Okay, next what we have to do is, then we have to run this particular command to do the migration. So I'll just run this particular command. So it will create the migrations file inside our Prisma folder. Now this will again take a little bit of time, so be patient. Once that is done, we'll have to run this particular command. But while running this particular command, if you see this particular documentation over here, if you see the documentation over here, if we scroll down here, you can see where did it go? So here it says that when we will do this step in a bit, but once we do this step, Prisma automatically invokes the Prisma generate command for you. But in future, if you are making any changes to our table or adding some other table, Prisma will not do this for us. We will have to run this command manually. So I think npx Prisma generate, something like that. You can run it if you are making any changes inside your application. So I'll just copy this command and I will just paste it over here. Now again, this will take little bit of time. So but if you see we will have to next create this prisma dot. So basically while running this command, it will create all the desired table inside our database, so we don't have to worry too much about it. Then we have to create this prisma dot service dot ts file. So for that, again, I'll just close this. I'll go to my sample project. So here you can see I have created inside src, I have created this prisma dot service dot ts. So I'll just go to src, I'll create this particular file. Okay, then I'll just open it and I'll copy it, and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just copy this. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. We don't require this constructor. This was just part of my debugging. So actually what I was trying to do, if you remember, our user table has a password field. I wanted to remove that password. I was trying this approach. It wasn't really working for me. I think Prisma do have a solution, but that is still in preview mode. That's why I don't want to try it. But currently, like, you will have to manually remove your password on your backend side once you get any kind of a response which involves the user's password. Yeah, I know that's a bad approach, but yeah, I don't know of any other better solution. If you know, do let me know in the comments. But like I told you, Prisma I think has some solution coming up, so hopefully next year, at least maybe in the 6 months, it should be stable. Let's see about that. So here what I'm doing is that again, I have copy pasted this code from the documentation, but we are creating a Prisma service. This will be used inside our user service as well as user module, as well as the reports module, and this will help us to basically connect our application to our database via this Prisma ORM. So that's why this boilerplate code is necessary. So yeah, you can just copy paste it for now. Okay, then we have to run this particular command. So we'll have to create some module for our user. So I'll just clear it again. Okay, and I'll just run this particular command. So this will create the module user for us. Once it has created a module, so here it will create the user folder for us. Once that is done, it will create, we need to create a controller as well. So here you can see inside the user folder we'll have to create a controller as well. So I'll just run this particular command as well. It will create the controller. Then we also need to create the service for the user. So again, I'll just run this particular command and it will create the service as well. Then I need to run this particular command to create post as well, just like we have the user folder to a module for post. So I'll just run this particular command and it will again create the post for us as well. So I'll just clear this out again. Okay, then we have to run this particular command to create post controller. Once that is done, we again have to copy this command and run it again to create the service of post as well. So this is done. Then we also need to install NestJS JWT, because I want to make use of JWT. So I'm just running that particular command as well. Okay, then we have to create our guards. So for that, inside src you can just create this guard. So this will basically check. So sign up and sign in will not require JWT. All other APIs will require JWT. So for that, we are creating this auth.guard.ts. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. And if I go guards auth.guard.ts, okay, and I'll just copy this particular entire thing and I'll paste it over here. So here you can see we have created this auth guard. It is injectable, which extends can activate. Here we are injecting the JWT service, and here we are getting hold of our request. So if we annotate any endpoint with auth guard, it will take our request, it will check the authorization and whether it has this bearer token or not. So here after bearer I have also added this space. So if it has it, then remove that and just get the token over here. And if we have that token, then I just assign it to request.current user. Then this particular token, I am passing both the ID as well as the email to inside this token. But if you want, you can just pass the ID or just the email. I don't think I personally won't pass the email, just pass the user ID. But yeah, now whenever we get a token for that particular API, with the help of request.current user, we can get the user's ID or the user's email. Okay, so this is done as well. Next, I will just go to user.module.ts. So I will just go to user.module.ts and let's see what we need. First, we need to import JWT. So I'll just copy this and I'll go over here. Sorry, we have to add the entire import block, right? So I'll just copy this entire thing and I'll paste it over here. Okay, and here we will just import JWT from nest/JWT. Then here is my secret. Maybe you can use a better secret. I have kept global to true, and the expiration is 60 hours, but you can keep like 1 hour or 2 hour, whatever expiration you want to keep it, you can keep it. All right, then I'll just save this. Then we require Prisma service as well, because we will be using that. So I'll just copy this before user service. This is important, you have to copy it before user service. So yeah, this is done as well. Okay, next is user service.ts. So I'll just open that and I'll copy everything and then I'll explain it to you. I'll go over here and I'll just paste over here. Okay, so if you see, these are all the imports. So for this is just for promisifying, because this Node.js API still uses older ways, like I think what was it called, it does not use async await, it use promises, but so we are promisifying to use it async and await. So here you can see we are injecting Prisma service as well as JWT service. This is our sign up method. It takes a prisma.user create input. If you see the user create input, it has email, name, password as well as post. Name and post are not mandatory. Okay, so here first I'm checking whether a user with existing email exists or not inside our database. So that's what is done. If yes, then throw an error. If not, then here we are basically hashing the password, and once the password is hashed, I'm creating a user using Prisma, passing the name, email as well as the password, and then we are generating a token with the, here as you can see I'm passing the ID as well as the email. You don't need to pass the email, but yeah, and then I'm just returning the token back to the user. Okay, similarly for login as well, I'm just checking if the user exists or not. If it does not exist, then throw an exception. Then whatever the user has sent us our password, we are just comparing that with the hash password which we have inside our database. If it does not match, then throw a bad request exception. If it matches, then we just again create a JWT token and return it back to the user. If I just want to find one particular user, then I can just use find unique, and whatever the users whatever you send it from the controller. I think I'm not really sending anything. This particular API will have the authorization token, right? So from that I'm fetching the ID and I'm just passing the ID to this. So I'm not exactly expecting any input from the user apart from the authorization token. Similarly for this API as well. So here I'm doing the same thing. Then to remove a user or delete a, we are just again doing the same thing, and this is for updating. So we just need to know what exactly the user wants to update, and then just call the update parameter. And here this is the API to find all the users. So here you can see in this I'm not sending the password, but for all other APIs I'm sending the password. So this is how I found like one of the ways, but like I told you, I think Prisma is in has created something to hide the password. But yeah, you can check the documentation, maybe it is already stable by the time you watch it. But yeah, that's it. Okay, find all. Then we'll have to go to the controller. Okay, so I will just open this controller as well. I'll copy everything and I'll paste it over here. So if you see, again, these are all the imports which we have. Here is our controller. So this is localhost colon whatever 3000/user/ sign up. Then this sign up method will call, it takes name, email and password, and we just call the sign up method of our user service. Similarly for sign in as well, we just call the login method. Here you can see for find all, I'm just taking this auth guard, annotating it with auth guard, and here inside this request, if the token is correct, then we will get the user ID, and then I'm just returning all the users which we have. Otherwise I'm throwing an exception. I will show this later on, because this get coincides with this get, so this might get confused. That's why I have commented this thing out for finding a user as well as for find all users. I'll come back to that later on. This is for deleting a user. So again, I'm just commented this out in case if you want to pass anything, but this is not really necessary. I mean, you can, I don't think I'm passing anything, right? Delete. Yeah, I'm passing the user ID. but over here I'm passing. I don't think this is necessary. You can remove this because here if you see I'm passing the user ID from the token, so this is not really necessary. I'll show the API endpoints later on, the Postman collection. Yeah, okay, then here this is for patch. Again for patch, I don't know why I'm passing this is not necessary because we are getting the ID from the token, right? So why to pass that again and again? Okay, so in case if you are passing something, then you will have to use this param id colon string and then use that ID. But inside this request I already have the ID using request.current user. That's how I'm passing it over here. Okay, so this is done. Next, coming back to post, then first one is post.module.ts. Let's see, I think we only need to include the JWT service if I'm not mistaken. Providers Prisma service, I'll just copy this. Okay, and here we will have to import Prisma service as well. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, that's it. Next we'll have to go create post.service.ts. so I'll just open that. I'll copy everything. I'll come over here and I'll paste it over here. So here you can see again we are injecting Prisma service. Then inside create post, we just call the create method from our Prisma to find all the post. We are just finding all the post, but here we are also including the user data, so it will show the password. So be careful with this. Here for find one, here I'm just finding that user's particular post. This is for removing the post and this is for updating the post. Okay, then coming back to post.controller.ts, just open this. I'll just copy and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so these are all the imports which I have. Then here we are calling first create, so it takes the first the authorization token, then the data. So here I'm just creating a post and I'm connecting that post with this particular user by passing the user ID. Similarly for finding all, I'm finding only all those posts for which you have provided the current token. Similarly for finding a particular post, now this ID is not the user ID, this is the post ID. So here you can see I'm passing the post ID, but here I'm passing the user ID of the user who has created the post. If it is created by some other guy, you will not be able to access this particular post if you are some other user. Okay, and this is for patch. So yeah, I'll just so this is call update, pass the ID of the post, pass the user ID and what content you want to update. So that's what I'm passing over here, post data. I'm just updating the content, but if you want to update the title and all that stuff, you can do that as well. And here you can see this is for delete. So this is again the ID of the post which we are passing, and this is the user ID. So I'll quickly run our app. So npm run start :dev. Also I will open our user controller. Now this will take little bit of time to get boot up. Okay, so first is sign up, right? So I'll just go over here, sign up, post call, and here I am just passing this name, email and password. I'll just click on send, and here you can see I got the token. Now same credentials I will use for login as well. So I'll just copy this and I'll go to body abc@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, okay. So if I just click on send, I should get the token. So here is the token. Now the third API is to get all the users. So it will require an authorization token. So here this is my old token. I'll just replace that with the new token. I'll click on send, and here you can see it gives me an array of users, but currently we only have one user. That's why only one user it is giving. Now I will just comment this one out and I'll uncomment this one. So here what we are getting is we are only finding one user, right? So if I try to hit this, okay, our server is reloading. Okay, so here you can see we are now getting only one user. Yeah, the password is visible, but it is hashed password. Yeah, but you should not show the password any which ways. And this is for finding all users. Sorry, here also I'm finding a user, but only by their email IDs. But as I told you, I already have the email ID like encoded inside our token, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm directly passing request.current_user.email, and if I send this again, here you can see I'm getting the same result. So I'll just comment this out and uncomment this one again. Okay, the next one is delete. Before delete I will show you update. Okay, so again update also. So here I'm just changing the name to hello, and here we'll have to again send our token, and I'll click over here. Here you can see name has been changed to hello. If I go to get, here also it is showing hello. Now to delete it, just send this. Okay, and inside bearer we'll just send our token. I'll click on send, and the user has been deleted. If I try to do get, it will throw an exception. Okay, it show okay, so the token is still valid, that's why it has shown an empty array, but I need to create the user again. So I'll just do this. Okay, it has created. I'll just sign in as well. Okay, it has signed in. Again I'll just copy this token. Now we have to create a post. So here I'm passing the title as well as the content, and we also need to pass the bearer token. I'll just paste it over here, and it has created that for me. Author ID is 2 because the first user was deleted. Right now here I want to fetch all the users. I'll just do send. This is the old token, that's why I'm getting empty array. And now I'll just update. Here you can see I'm getting that particular post. Now I want to update post 1. No, I want to only get the first post, right? So I'll again update my token. I'll send, and here you can see I'm getting this one only. Next I'll show delete later on. This first post we want to update. This is the new content. Okay, let me quickly check what was the content name was second content, and here we are passing it as new content. So I'll just quickly do send. Here you can see it is new content, and if I do a send again, this is the new content. Now to delete it, again here I'm just passing the ID. I will just send the token of the user. Okay, so this was deleted, and if I do a get, here you can see we are getting empty response. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.